What's up, y'all? Welcome back to The Process. I wanted to take some time today and just speak to something that I've been noticing online a little bit, which is the amount of creators or people out there who are incredibly focused on things that they can't control. I think it's worthwhile to speak to about, because if you are trying to build something from scratch or create consistency or just exist in this realm of uncertainty, which is the internet, in order to do that long term, I think it's important to have your personal set values in place and work forward through those things. And what I mean by that is it can be very easy to get caught up in trying to chase metrics, chase money, and things like that. And ultimately, down the line, those things will most likely come for sure. I'm not going to sit and talk like I really actually also even know that, because I'm also just starting out just like you. But something that I've noticed even for myself is that it's really hard to continue to create if you're fixated on how much engagement or likes or follows or all these things that are out of your control. You can't control how many people see the product that you make. You can't control how many people decide to subscribe or follow your content and integrate what you make into their life. And you can't control really if people decide to spend money on something that you create either. And even though that might seem counterintuitive, because obviously when we set out to accomplish anything, we try to do so with an end goal in mind. We want to start somewhere to reach someplace. But I think something that I'm realizing is that the more you focus on external factors and validation within this process, the more resistance you feel when it comes you will feel when it comes to creating. And that resistance will just create stagnation as you try to go about and create concepts, because you'll notice very quickly that all of a sudden you'll approach your craft in a way that's not sincere to you. And what I mean by that is when you're chasing external validation, you'll start to think, well, this means a lot to me, but it probably won't mean a lot to the vast majority. And oftentimes what you say can, instead of it being really specific, you'll notice that you will want to make it as broad as possible so that you can reach as many people as you possibly can, which in theory makes sense, but kind of creates bland art, in my opinion. In my opinion, the best art is super specific and concise and speaks to you directly. And if you become fixated on what's external and trying to validate yourself through the validation of others, that line just becomes very blurry really quickly. So what do you do with that, right? Because obviously, depending on what your goals are, you probably want to build something. And what I think makes the most sense is really taking a step back and identifying what you can control and what you can't control. And that's why it's such a cool process to create, because so much of what you contribute is actually work that you do on yourself. So for instance, when it comes to showing up consistently, do you actually do that in your own life? In whatever capacity that may be. Do you write on a consistent schedule? Do you edit on a consistent schedule? Do you read and learn new things consistently? What does that look like for you? How, in whatever way, are you taking time to refine your craft and learn new things? How are you improving yourself? Are you taking care of yourself physically, emotionally? Are you committed to that process? Are you able to show up day after day after day and put in work that may not result in any type of external validation at all, but in the grand scheme of things will contribute to the end goal way down the road, way far beyond what you can see right now? Do you have faith that what you're doing will actually amount to something? And can you lean into that faith and continue to move forward even if you can't see the finish line yet? I think taking ownership over the things that you can control versus the things that you can't will really, truly empower you to continue to lay that single brick day by day as perfectly as you can lay it. Because if you do that, at least you can go to bed at the end of the day and know that you did exactly what you knew you could do, and then some maybe. But if you are fixated on external factors and you're trying to create within that realm, I think eventually you'll start to feel quite a bit of inauthenticity creep into your creative process, and that's not ideal, because when it all comes down to it, whatever you create, you want to be a direct reflection of yourself. But at the core of everything you do, I feel like you always want to create in a way that reflects everything that you're about. So that is my word today. Control what you can control. Do the best you can. Show up as often as you can. And eventually you'll find that the road ahead will probably look a whole lot brighter. All right. That's it. Peace.